So there's something I've been wanting to try, which I haven't had the time to until now, and that is test Tesla compatibility in a Dell PowerEdge T420 server. And I have a fresh install of Windows on this. I'm hoping I can just be lazy and run the card in this as is with Windows rather than having to virtualize it. But yeah, pretty beefy setup. 16 cores, a little slow, but yeah, 192 gigs of RAM. Not much for drive because I didn't want to set up a RAID. I just threw an SSD where the optical drive was plugged in. But yeah, let's see how it goes. All right, well, just turned the system off and unplugged it. And let's see what happens here. And I will be using one of my Tesla power cables I've made that I also sell on eBay. And I think we're just gonna put it in this other slot here. Could put it up right against the SAS controller, but I don't plan on cooling this card, so actually no, I think I'm going to cool this card because I want to be able to beat on it a little bit. So here's my Tesla power cable. This can only be plugged in one way because of the locking tab. The Teslas will not accept a double width locking tab. All right. Now there's two spots you can plug GPU power in. Let's see if I can get good zoom on that. So you'll see there's a white connector there on the redundant power supply backplane. And then there's a power board for the redundant power supply backplane that has another connector right down there. So I'm just going to plug into the top one because it's easier to get to. And for powering a fan, you could tap into the header for the case fan. Alternatively, you could get a power adapter that would take power off of the SATA connector. I think in my case, I'm going to find a little pin splitter that'll let me steal from the fan header for the case fan. Alright, well, I found the splitter that's going to work. Nice thing about this splitter is it doesn't focus. It doesn't carry the sense pin over to both fans. So I'm going to be plugging this blower fan into the one that doesn't use the sense pin to monitor the fan. And this one I'll use for the original Dell case fan. And hopefully that will prevent the system from freaking out because it's only going to detect the fan it's supposed to detect. And I wonder, let's look at the coloring here. Okay, yeah, they're using the same pin, it looks like, so that should be fine. Worst case scenario, I blow this motherboard up because I'm dumb. But yeah, it should be the same. I don't know why they would change it up, that's for sure. Not when they're using a standard fan header. I've never seen Dell do that before, those stuff. I need piece tape because I have some screws that I taped into this blower fan to retain them. I think this blower fan came off a Dell. Maybe not. Came off something. Oh man. And I'm not going to be doing this particularly nice because, well, it's not permanent and it's just for demonstration purposes. So hopefully you can just sit right there like that and be good enough. All right. So now, power on. And my biggest concern is going to be the fan more than the power cable, since I know the power cable for sure is correct, but I think the fan should be fine as well, so. There we go. No smoke. Fan spinning. The chassis intrusion is going to be a little whiny, so I'm just going to do the tried and true method of weighing it down. So I'm going to let Windows boot, and I'm going to do some setup stuff, and I'll be back. Well, I ran into some issues during setup, but got things going now. Had some bad memory, so that was causing this server to crash a lot. And then I forgot I had to put the Tesla in GPU mode. So yeah, it's working. I have to remote into it because of that's weird. Because of the setup to get it to actually use the GPU. There's probably a way to force it to use GPU over integrated, but it's one of those things where I didn't want to spend the time. Since this is just proof of concept. There we go. So it's running right now. Let's zoom in here a little bit. My cooling solution is not quite up to snuff. It's getting around 63 Celsius, although that might not be too far out of whack for a Tesla running firmware. I can hit it even harder at 1080p. Really draw some power. It's going to lag a little, I think, because of remote desktop more than anything else. But yeah, I'm hitting the GPU for full 250 watts. Let's see at the front, the ports for power draw. It's going to be done by the time I get to it. 336 watts. So yeah, it's definitely pulling the same amount of power that GPU's reporting. So yeah, I think the T420 should just be fine with Tesla. And honestly, I would almost recommend a Tesla and a T420 over what I did in a previous video, like the 1070, because the Tesla's going to exhaust the heat right out the back. And I just used a blower fan. I have a 3D printer, so I could 3D print a better way of doing it. But as you saw earlier in the video, when my fans get angry, and just have that blower fan haphazardly leaning and blowing some air through the card. I think feel it coming through. So yeah, the PowerEdge T420 is definitely Tesla capable, and it will work with the cables I sell. Although with 12th gen, you could go buy the other cables that people are selling, they'll work just fine. These cables really that I make, they only matter if you're running 13th gen, because 13th gen has the sense pen. It needs that jumper. But yeah, either way, hopefully that was interesting, and now you know if you want to use a Tesla M40 in your PowerEdge T420, it'll work just fine. So, thanks for watching.